What's going on, great friends? How are we doing here today? It is Saturday. Welcome into the Jay and Trey podcast studio. As a matter of fact, you're actually in the StreamYard studio, but welcome to the Jay and Trey podcast. I hope everyone's doing all right. It is a beautiful Saturday. I got a great 2-hour show for you today, and I'm excited to get down into business. All right. Like to thank everyone for tuning in. It is you guys are watching us from the StreamYard studio. Hey, listen, StreamYard has a simple podcast YouTube creating function service that I highly recommend you going. Listen, earlier this week, I talked to Jake, kind of helped him out a little bit, talked to him a little bit about how to walk him through at least the free version. StreamYard offers a free version inside the studio about things that, with a couple of clicks, you can start creating your own podcast. And next, Jake's up on StreamYard. He's doing his own thing. He's interviewing his great friends over on Fighting Now, having guests left and right. So, kudos to Jake. And that's all because, hey, we've been using the StreamYard studio. So if you guys are looking to create your own StreamYard, your own podcast, your own YouTube videos, I really recommend going to StreamYard.com, checking them out. Check out the free trial, the free version. And then if you want, like $20 a month, get yourself better access. StreamYard.com. Also like to give a shout out to Placeit that creates all of our logos for our show. Placeit is by Envato. I've been using Placeit from day one. It's created all of our logos that you guys see here. Those little advertisement videos that you guys see that I create for our guests from time to time. You see that through them. So Placeit.net, go out there, give them see what they're about, and see if it fits you the best. Also like to give a shout out to Epidemic Sound. Listen, the last thing we want to do is get copyrighted or striked because we wanted to play certain music. It is hard to find royalty-free music for our show. Epidemic Sound cuts all that middleman out. They provide music that we can select from, over thousands of options, and put their music on your social media accounts, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. And that's the way you're not getting copyrighted. Epidemicsound.com. Discover your world-class artists, composers, and bands. Find your perfect soundtrack and give your social media accounts the music they deserve. Last but not least, all right, merch. Stream Elements is another key component I want to give a big thank outs to, because listen, I know that there's a lot of places that you can go online and put up merchandise and sell your merchandise. There's public key. But, when I was investing into this matter, Stream Elements kind of gives me the best bang for my buck. I uploaded my stuff. I put it up there absolutely for free. And next, I could just start sending people to our web page. And you can start wearing your favorite fan gear. Now, talking about favorite fan gear, we do have a merchandise page. It is merch.streamelements.com/JJ Talk Show. So, if you like our show, you like what we do, you like Trey, you like me, you like Jake, you want to support us, head on over to merch.streamelements.com/JJ Talk Show, okay? And buy a t-shirt, buy a jacket, a hoodie, a blanket. There's so many different options to choose from. They have plus sizes. Listen, head out there, see what it's about, and support us. Buy your favorite fan gear today. All right. I feel like I said enough. Great introduction here. I got 2 hours for you today. We're going to see where it plays out because I know Trey is trying to get some things going on. We're supposed to have a former NFL player here, David Folcher, used to play for the Cincinnati Bengals. So I'm excited to get him on if everything works well. But we will see. So the Jay and Trey podcast, let's not wait anymore. What's going on, great friends? Is happy Saturday evening, afternoon, wherever you guys are from. Morning on my end is afternoon. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We bring you a show up until 3 o'clock, right before, and we're doing this because Trey and I are going out to a NWF event, and we'll talk about that a little later on in our program. But hey, wherever you guys are at, thank you for tuning in on YouTube. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Also, listen, our fan base here, get involved in those chats. Chat us up, leave comments, and listen. We try to do our best throughout the show to give you all of our comments. To share the comments, talk about the comments, what's going on in the world of sports, so much more. If you guys can't watch us on YouTube, that's fine because I understand. If you guys are out driving, you guys are at work, you guys can't watch us. It happens. So I would recommend I will send you guys down to our Spotify at TNC Sports Talk. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. There's no way you can't miss our episode. And then also, listen, let's not forget about our social media accounts. We got Facebook, we got Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Trey and I was on TikTok live after his amazing work that he's done to get us to 1,000 followers on TikTok. We've been finally going live on there, kind of getting our feet wet, seeing where things are going. We're not going to be perfect for the first few episodes. We really don't know necessarily the dynamic of how we want to take our TikTok live. So we're going to play that out. I have an idea, and I'm going to bring Trey on here in a moment to talk about that idea. So also that, listen, also, we're getting booked for guests left and right, in and out. I'm excited. I hope Trey is excited because we got, we're hopefully to get David Folcher on today. I know Trey's working on that. He's supposed to hopefully come on in about the next 20 minutes to talk some NFL football with us. I got Justin returning for us tomorrow night in a segment, a Marvel segment, a non-sports related segment for him to give us up to date in Marvel stuff. I got a whole bunch of guests coming up next week. All month long, I've been crazy, getting emails left and right. And if you guys want to work on becoming a guest on our show, I will send you to this email. It's JTJN talkshow at yahoo.com. Once again, that is JTJN talkshow at yahoo.com. I'll send you guys over there. You guys can email me. We'll work to something together. Not guarantee. Hey, tell me your story. I want to hear your story. If you guys want to come on, what is your sports story? Tell me about it. Email it to me. We'll try to get you on our show. So 2 hours free today, 1 to 3. We got try to do limited commercials like we do each and every episode. We got an announcement to make, another giveaway. I'm excited to talk about that later on in our program. What was the aftermath of SmackDown? Who returned? Who is Ronda Rousey going to be facing at WrestleMania? Hey, I got a question for you guys and for the fans. Comment down below. Get involved. Get in the chats. When the Royal Rumble winners, Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, okay? How soon do you anticipate the Royal Rumble winners to announce who they're going to face? I feel WWE really jumped really quickly to state the obvious of who's going to be facing. 2 months away from WrestleMania, and you already know who's choosing who. I kind of enjoy, and it feels like they've been doing this the last couple of years, but I kind of really enjoy the teeter-totter of, okay, I got about a month, maybe so. I could sit back and wait for maybe the Elimination Chamber to come and go, maybe Fastlane, before I could choose my opponent. And even though it is you could kind of predetermine who's going to select who, it's kind of like that optimistic undecision of, hey, who, I know Brock Lesnar is going to choose Roman, but could he possibly choose Bobby Lashley? So I don't know. I want to hear what you guys are doing over there. Good morning to Armchair Booking, Steve and Dwaylen over there in Armchair Booking. I checked them out today. or check them out in those episodes. They just had a phenomenal episode. I just finished up watching. I can't wait to get back with them personally and talk about their episode that they put out about Brock Lesnar. And a lot of impelling sights that I've been showing here. So I'm excited to get going through. Um, I'm already getting comments in, so let me just share a couple of them. Armchair booking. It depends on whatever the current storyline atmosphere is like. But I do agree they went way too early this year. Uh, that's just me. Listen, especially like the Ronda Rousey story. I mean, she could face Charlotte. She could face Becky Lynch. You could sit on it for a couple of weeks. You don't have to choose right away. She initially wanted both of them. So I don't understand why WWE had to go out of the way and announce it this week. Um, Trey, how do you feel on that scenario?
Um, well, if you paid attention last year, I think Bianca won, but she didn't wait that long to announce that. But I think they still could have waited at least at least until no 2 or 3 weeks maybe. Mess
Right.
with both of the opponents, get them a little worried. But
Yeah.
yeah, I do agree. They could have at least have waited another couple weeks.
Well, because I mean, I know it's not often, but we see I mean, there's possibilities that title changes from time to time throughout between now and Mania. And like I said, Ronda Rousey, prime example. She wants to face both Becky Lynch, and she has look. Let me put it this way: she has unfinished business with Becky Lynch, and she has unfinished business with Ronda Rousey. Right?
Right,
Maybe sit on it until after the chamber to choose, because then it's more like, well, she can face whoever she wants. She's entitled to, right? That's what the Royal Rumble wins. I just don't know why she had to choose so soon. It gives me as a fan to tune in, because each and every week to see, okay, is she going to select her winner? You know what I'm saying?
right.
So
No,
that's just me.
no. As far as Brock Lesnar, you know, he didn't even have to make a really a choice. After Roman, messed with him in that WWE match, you kind of figured that's who he was gonna pick anyways. So
Right.
no, but Ronda, I would have kept going to Raw and SmackDown, messing with Bianca and Charlotte for
And Becky
weeks and
Lynch,
weeks. Oh yeah, who did I say?
Bianca.
I'm freaking I'm heated over here because it's freaking music. Um, but yeah, I would have went to Raw and SmackDown like I said, messed with Becky Lynch. I would have messed with Charlotte. I would have, next week, Charlotte defends her title against Naomi. No,
Right.
if I was Ronda, I would make my presence belt during that match, and mess with Charlotte. Um, because Sonya Deville's gonna mess with Naomi anyways. But you know, I still would have made my presence felt, and just mess with that scenario
I
that
mean,
just
maybe
a
I
little
can't
bit.
find the right word, but it kind of gives me the goosebumps almost of, okay, we're getting closer to Royal Rumble with the WrestleMania, and it's like I understand Brock Lesnar. We already kind of could have pre-told you that story, but yeah, there's right. I mean, I don't know about you. If you had to choose Ronda Rousey facing Becky or Charlotte, who would you personally have Ronda face?
Me myself, I would choose Becky.
Okay,
Why? Because she's the one that pinned Ronda in
right.
her last match. I think
Do
because
you understand? Do you understand why Ronda has chose Charlotte right now?
I um
Can I give you my thoughts?
yes.
Okay. There is no one that stands right now in the current roster across from Charlotte Flair that is better than her. You can argue that Lita has a possibility, but they kind of shut that down very quickly. That's why you see Lita over there against Becky Lynch, right?
Mhm.
So Ronda is that somebody that is better or can be presumed as better than Charlotte Flair in the ring. And that's why I feel that's why they push Ronda towards Charlotte first, at least, because as a athlete, you stand there across the ring from somebody, and you always want to thrive to be better. And Charlotte is at the top of the totem pole. Now, how is Charlotte going to be a better athlete herself if she's not thriving to be better than somebody else? Right?
Right.
If she's already better than everybody else. So I personally believe, and I know that there's other stories going behind it, but I think that for me, I choose Ronda and Charlotte just because of the fact that Charlotte doesn't necessarily have anybody. I mean, maybe other than that, other than the fact that okay, maybe if you made something like a three-way match, right? If you had a three-way dance with like a Sasha and Bailey if she returned, that's possible. Or if you brought back, I think the only other person I would be excited to face Charlotte at Mania would be Asuka. But I don't know on her medical relief here. I just want to share with you armchair booking. He would have her not get medically cleared medically and put Bianca instead. Um, Maybe a little bit more details in that. You
Now
talking about Lita or
I've heard that Bailey and Oscar are very, very close to being medically cleared, and they will be wrestling at Mania.
but then what's the
And
storyline for them and where do they
that's the
fit?
thing, I don't think they're gonna come back and just get thrown right into the title picture.
Right.
Um, there's also a returning Lacey Evans too. That's supposed to
Right.
be happening very, very soon.
And I don't know about you, but I'm actually excited. Um you know how much I was never a Lacey Evans fan up until now knowing that she's coming back. And you think about it, Bailey, Asuka, Lacey, you know what that does for the women's division in WWE? These are three one of the top tier athletes in the women's division right now in the WWE. Them coming back could change the entire atmosphere of what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just for clarification, Armchair Booking says have Ronda not get cleared, put Bianca instead of against Becky. Um, okay, I could see that. But I still think maybe that you're gonna see a Bianca if Ronda goes to Charlotte. Obviously, that's what we're looking at. Bianca and Bailey never really had that one-on-one fight that people really can gravitate to. We may be seeing that. But that's a good question for the entire show today. Is the concept, when would you like to see, or how, I mean, was the WWE push that Royal Rumble winner choosing too soon? And I mean, give your thoughts. Um, any openness about? I heard that you're having issues with David. Um,
Yes. He has responded back to me, and I am getting ready to send a link to him.
okay, that's something. So we will be having him on in about 10 minutes. I'm excited to have him on.
I'm
A three
sending the
time.
link to him now in case he has problems. Like,
That's fine by me. Well, so then here's what we'll do. Let's cut to a break. All right. We'll cut to a break, and when we come back, we'll just get ready for David. Well, let's see, it's Fulcher, right? Am I saying that
uh,
correctly?
Vulture. That's what it sounds
Fulcher.
like.
Okay, David Fulcher coming up next. Stay tuned. Very excited. We're taking up until 3 o'clock. All right, so stay tuned with us. Grab your popcorn, grab your drinks. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys, hopefully it's a good show for you. Leave us a comment down below. We'll be right back here on the Jay and Trey podcast.
I'm somewhere in the middle, try to find myself again, but life is one big riddle of the future and what's been. Guess it's the way it goes, and I will never know why you let me go. Look to the left, look to the right, nothing can stop me in the night, like I am leaving all the bad stuff and trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm alone. I got it, I gotta go, 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 running into better times. Go, 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 from my emotions I'll go, 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 running into better times, to 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 better times. Remember I was laughing in all the photos that you took, but now it looks like acting, like we were fiction in a book. Guess it's the way it goes, and I will never know why you let me go. Look to the left, look to the right, nothing can stop me in the night, like I am leaving all the bad stuff and trying to remain so strong. I know it's good if I'm alone. I got it, I gotta go, 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 running into better times. Go, 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 from my emotions I'll go, 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 running into better times, to better times, to better times, to better times, to better times. Gotta get, gotta get, gotta get, gotta get it right now. Yeah, push all the limits with you right now. Gotta get it right now. Yeah, push all the limits.
All right, everyone, join Thunder Valley Racing with D-Blood and Jake, our good pal Jake, as he broadcasts his Thunder Valley Racing every Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. This season, we have some great things going on over there. Let's on just an upcoming schedule, February 6th, which is tomorrow night, you got the Menard Series Production Alliance Group 300, all going out of the Auto Club race. You also have February 7th, Monday, 9-line Apparel, the Auto Club 400 Series. And then you have the Truck Series, Plan B sale on February 250 on February 8th, all coming out of the Auto Club track.
Nemo.
So you guys could check Jake out there. He'll be broadcasting these Truck Series. And man, I tell you, I've been watching some of his work. He's been doing a pretty good job as himself, to say the least. I'm excited. But check out Thunder Valley Racing on YouTube for more information.
Nemo. This is terrible today, bro.
It's all good. We're looking to have in about 5 minutes have David Folcher on, a former NFL safety. He played for the Cincinnati Bengals and the Los Angeles Raiders. He played for the Cincinnati Bengals from 1986 to 1992. In 1993, he played for the Los Angeles Raiders. He was a PFWA All-Rookie Team in 1986, three-time Pro Bowl from 1988 to 1990, first team All-Pro in 1989, second team All-Pro in 1990. It's exciting to have a former Cincinnati player, a person. I believe he played in the Super Bowl where the Bengals and the 49ers. So, um, you pull some strings, you got this out. Kind of, how did you even get this to happen?
No, I actually seen him doing another interview, uh, talking about the Super Bowl. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I could reach out to him. And I wasn't actually expecting him to respond, but he actually did. And no, I can't wait to interview him, but I'm a little nervous.
Well, we're all gonna be nervous here. But listen, this is a great way to kick off our Super Bowl talk week. I mean, we just got done. The Pro Bowl's tomorrow, so kind of get some information of how. I want to know how things have changed. That's how I want to. That's what I want to get out of him. I want to know what it was like back then in the 80s. The dynamic is a completely different ball, team, not team, but dynamic of playing style than it is today. And you think about this, last time the Bengals went to the Super Bowl, other than this year, is when he played. It's been
Hmm.
30 plus years. He got to be a part of that. So I kind of I want to get his story. They called him Faux Rock. That was his nickname. I mean, what's up with that? Uh, he went to Arizona State.
Yep,
He's also a Los Angeles. He was born in L.A. So I mean, California California natives here on my end. But I'm very excited to have him on and to kind of pick his brain, kind of get his insights on how he thinks this Bengals team is doing. How he thinks listen, he's from LA. Does that mean he's rooting for the Rams? Is he rooting for the Bengals because he played for them? So many great questions to ask him, and hopefully we get to in here in a couple of minutes. So we're just waiting for him to attend whenever he's ready, and we'll get him on the air. And then but listen, all of our guests, we got a chef coming up here this Wednesday that's going to talk about some Super Bowl party foods, uh, dealing with air fryers and stuff like that. So I'm excited on that end. I got a We have a guy coming from the Olympics who's kind of been involved with the Summer Olympics and the World Olympics. So get great on next Friday to kind of pick his brain, talk about that because the Winter Olympics it's actually going on now. Just started yesterday. You got the curling and the women's hockey that's been playing. The ice skiing, the snowboarding, the figure skating. All that stuff is great to go to talk about. And then I'm excited. And I have him on my calendar. That's actually in my card because I wrote this down. I have a guest coming on next weekend, next Saturday. His name is Steve Boris, and he's actually I believe he's an English teacher as well as and he's coming on because and he's an author. He just published a book about his life story, how he was down in the dumps, he kind of hit rock bottom, and kind of football saved his life in a sense. So get a chance to have him on next Saturday night, which is actually ironic because to have a guest on at night is kind of hard to do. But
it is kind of hard. It
we'll
is
get
very hard.
but to be able to have him come share his story with us, and that's what I'm really most excited about. Um, so, but I'm gonna be able to have him on. He'll be on talk about his story, talk about his book, and I'm excited for our upcoming guests. I'm getting booked. And I know it's not necessarily the okay. This is a pro athlete coming on, but I'm getting books with people who want to be on our show and want to get their name out there and get their stuff out there. So I'm excited for this month of February to come and go with all the interview guests. Uh, I kind of got bombarded all at one week to the point where I almost like, okay, I can't. Who do I have this day? Who do I have that day? You know what I'm saying? Because I got hit like with like 25 emails, all wanting to come on, and I had to read their stories and all right, figure out which works best. I don't want to overbook our show. Um, I want to give each individual person the proper time to come on. but we are just sitting here waiting. We appreciate that. We have kind of just take a look at other things going on today. We got NBA today, Heats and Hornets. Um, we have Grizzlies and Magic coming up at 5 p.m. tonight. The Knicks and Lakers tonight after the Lakers fell short to the Clippers the other night by 1 point. We have 18 Northern Illinois is taking on Indiana. It's 48-46 in the second half, about halfway through. Coming up also later, Iowa State takes on Texas. Number 20, Iowa State takes on number 23, Texas, in another top 25 countdown. Xavier's taking on DePaul today at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At 5 p.m., number 19 USC will take on number 7 in Arizona men's college basketball. And then number 5 Kentucky takes on Alabama later on tonight at 8 p.m. Pebble Beach, round 3 is in progress. Seamus Power is leading the leaderboard. He'll tip off today at 109. Patrick Cantley is 12 under par. So far today, he's 2 under par. He leads in second. And tied for 3. There's the 3-place tie so far. So keep you up at Pebble Beach Pro-Am. $8.7 million for this purse at Pebble Beach in California for the world of golf.
He stopped replying, so I don't know what he's doing.
That's all right. We'll see what happens. We'll
I sent
work
him
on getting him on.
I gave him instructions on like how to allow the mic and stuff, so
That's fine. Armchair booking sets out. Duke is playing at 6 p.m. against what is it? North Carolina? Is that UNC? Is that what UNC is? Yeah. Number 9 Duke will be in North Carolina. He also said, "Go Tar Heels."
so I guess he goes for Tar Heels.
But we got a really good sports weekend. He says that's the only Northern Carolina team that matters. Okay.
Only thing I've got 2 words for him. Go Kentucky.
I saw a incredible SDSU. I'm an Aztecs fan because I'm from California. So Armchair Bookings was born in North Carolina, lived there for about 15 years. I was born and raised for the first 20 years of my life in San Diego, California. I grew up on the Aztecs. I was excited to see the Aztecs play. Never really got into that much college, and I guess I guess here when you're on the West Coast and you're not in like LA, you deal with the Mountain West Conference, and that's really there's so much sports teams out there in college, right? There's like over 100 teams, and it's like how do you follow each and every league? You know what I'm saying? Like I can't follow. It's not like the NFL. Like you look at the NFL. If you say NFL is too hard to follow, then it's like, well, I don't. I mean, NFL, there's 32 teams compared to like college, where if you try to follow each and every team, that's hard to do so. I don't know about you, but that's hard to do so. I usually pick like 4 or 5 teams to follow, and then that's it.
What's the hardest sport for you to follow?
Oh gosh. Yeah, the reason why I love baseball and football so much is that football is once a week, right? There's set days. Baseball is every day of the year. You don't really miss much. Basketball and hockey are a little hard, a little bit more difficult to follow because they don't necessarily have that like consistency. They'll play 1 game 1 week, 2 games the other week, 3 games in a they may only play like 5 games in the entire month. I mean, But between basketball and hockey, those are really hard. When it comes out of college, it could get confusing, especially if you're trying to gather the overall concept. You got you have different leagues, and I know that they're trying to work on trying to condense those leagues. But you got all these different leagues out there in the college sports. Basketball, football, right? And it really doesn't necessarily make sense. Plus, I really dislike the rankings and how they decide to rank everything up. So I'm not necessarily a big fan of college sports just because for me it's harder to follow. But I would say my difficult ones probably definitely in basketball and hockey will be hard for me to. It's hard for me to gravitate to.
Mine's just the difficulty of keeping up with every team. Like,
Mm,
what's this team's doing? You know, let's they say I'm a fan of the Bengals, right?
yeah,
It's hard for me to have a second favorite because I can't keep up with them because I'm so focused on the Bengals.
right. Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, for me, when it comes down to like football, I'll go to. I have the CBS Sports app. I head on over to the NFL. I look at the weekly games, and then I see, okay, well, what games attract me. Like that's what I did for this year during the football. Week 17. I scrolled down the list based off of the standings, the game implications, and who what game just really attracts my attention. The Chiefs in Week 17 of the NFL, the Chiefs and the Bengals attracted my attention. There was a lot of playoff implications to that, right? So that I mean that's how I pick those one or two games throughout the week. Um, so you go back to today, and I'm like, okay, let's just take NBA for example. I don't have a team in the NBA. Okay, I say my team will be the Clippers. Okay, that's usually my team that I root for. There are two, four, 6 games on today. The Memphis Grizzlies and the Orlando Magics sit. I mean, that's not really a game to. I mean, the roster's not really great. Um, I mean, the Phoenix Suns are just crazy good. So maybe I will tune in at 7 p.m. to the Suns for a little bit. But I'm not watching the entire game because they have a much better record than the Wizards. The game I would probably tune into basketball tonight would probably be the Lakers. And the only reason why I see the Lakers is because I listen to a lot of California radio stations and they talk a lot about the Lakers. And they're also right now 3 games under 500. They have this video game style roster to say with all the talent that's on there. It's like if you went on to your football game, right? And you
Hmm.
got to put all the top stars, your Adrian Peterson, your Frank Gore, your AJ Green, Andy, whoever you want, you like make your dream team. That's what the Laker is. The Lakers are like if you put together a NFL, like you put together a game, like you could change the roster on the game
Hmm.
and you could play like that. I mean, I know my brother when he was in high school and he would play in those baseball games, he would put these ridiculous, dream teams together. With Cody Bellinger and Max Muncy and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and Fernando Tatis all playing together, and I'm like, no, 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 you can't do that realistically. And that's what you would play, and that's what the Lakers are. That's how the Lakers are put in. And yet again, you're seeing them. I mean, the Lakers are 25-28. You go to the end. Let's head on over to the NBA really fast. Let's look at the standings. Um, the Lakers are in the Western Conference, which is another confusing thing for me. But then they sit second to last place, behind the Clippers. Clippers are playing 500 in the Western Conference. The Lakers are sitting number 9, and I believe the cutoff is 10. So they barely they're barely holding their own for a playoff spot. And this is a team that you invested a lot of money, a lot of time into it. You got the star power, and it's like, how come these players can't win like this? They do amazing in their on their if they're all
Mm,
separated. And it's not like LeBron James isn't playing good. They're playing good. They're just not doing enough to win.
yeah, if they were so called, a dream team, you'd figure they would be doing good.
Well, in a video game, they'll be doing good, but obviously, you see them here; they're not necessarily doing good.
Right.
So I'm taking you haven't heard back.
No.
Was it? It was it 1:30 or 2 o'clock?
1:30.
1:30.
Mm.
Oh, we're kind of just sitting here live, waiting for something to happen. I don't want to start moving forward and then him popping up again, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, 1:30.
Yeah. Armchair booking. I believe you're still in here. Are you able? Do you think you're going to be able to come down to Ludlow tonight?
No, I've got word that the Ludlow streets are clear.
They are clear, but it's not about Ludlow. It's about going back to where he's from, because he's coming from Mount Orb, and there's those back streets that he has to worry about.
I'm just letting you know that we got word that they're clear.
Oh, I'm pretty sure.
Uh,
So I'm pretty confident that they should be clear. It's just there's some back roads, I guess you would say, that are still kind of, if you know what I mean.
No, my whole complex has not even been
Touched.
touched. Yeah.
So getting out maybe it being an issue, getting back in maybe an issue, but you guys go slow enough as is in that complex. You can't go speed around it, and that shouldn't be an issue. Once you get out to the street, is to get onto the main street right there.
Right.
I don't know how clear those roads are. Hopefully, if those roads are very clear, then you should have an issue whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like I pay my HOA for them to come do this, and they haven't done nothing.
You guys want me to come over and tow you guys out of your parking lot
Yes.
just to make sure you get there correctly?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, if you want me to stop by before you guys take off, then definitely do so. I wouldn't mind coming by. I just got my W-2s in, so I may be after the show doing my taxes, but
No, like we're gonna head out pretty early.
yeah.
So we could park in front of the actual theater.
Yeah.
Um,
I really didn't like, and for you and all, with the snow and everything, that makes sense. So try to, even though the roads are clear, the snow is still up against the street. That's all they
mhm.
do. So definitely try to make sure you get there so you don't have to, because having to operate your scooter inside on the snow is very difficult to do, especially if the snow is thicker.
Yeah, I personally have never driven on this type of situation,
Yeah.
so this is a first for me. I mean, obviously, I've driven in just snow, but it's not snow and ice at the same time. So,
I wouldn't say there's a lot of ice on here. There's not a tremendous amount of ice out there.
I mean, I think we had a quarter of an inch of snow. Not snow, but ice.
Right.
And they came down 2 days ago. The snowplow people,
Yeah.
and all they did was put
Uh,
salt, and it made the snow whatever turn blue.
right. Right.
But they have not came down since, and that was 2 days ago. At like,
Right. Well, okay, so I get it coming out there. I'm just saying afterwards, like it may look slushy, but it's not frozen where you're going to be slipping. Um, Now, I mean, yet again, you're on wheels. I don't know on a smaller wheel format how that will be, how that would work. I should say, hey, hop on my back and I'll carry you to the car. At least, hey, if we fall into a blanket of snow.
That's true. So
Ah,
yep, we're leaving early. Um, as soon as this show's over, I gotta drink my medicine, and then I'm gonna head out to my mom's,
yeah,
drop off Nero, and then go pick up something to eat, and then go to Ludo.
yeah.
So,
I went to Costco this morning, and I
mhm.
ended up getting everyone, those hot dogs and those pizzas that, that's a good price. I mean, those pizzas are really good. I love a good Costco pizza.
I've never had it.
Well, you're missing out. You're
I don't
missing
have
out.
I don't have a membership to
Go
Costco.
get a You got to go get a membership then. Go tag along with Kaylee, with Justin.
See, last time I was there, I think I was there with you.
Yeah, weren't you
No,
there with us before? Didn't you try a pizza over there?
they didn't have any.
Oh my goodness. And that was probably at the beginning of COVID, huh?
Hmm.
This pandemic. Yeah, you're gonna have to try it out when we get out there. I mean, does Sam's Club have any of that?
Yeah, they
No.
have the pizza and all that stuff. I'm a Sam's guy, so
Unfortunately. Um, all right, so I think we're gonna start
just
moving
move on.
on.
Yep.
We were on TikTok last night and we
Yep.
brought up a good topic. And I kind of want to explore more options on this. Now, I mean, hey, you got a chance to sleep. You took all your medications. You're not tired. Um, the week is done. You kind of got some better news, kind of help you through the week. I know it's been stressful for you. Um, and I could say you're kind of better today. So yesterday was kind of a little off, up and off. But we talked
Yep.
about something that I really want to really jump down back into, and that's about the 2K22 game. Now I mean, I brought up the idea. Now I don't know. We're gonna have to use a line of trust, right? We say trust heavenly, but so obviously the 19 game. Not only you couldn't play it because of the fingers and the controllers and how that was set up, but it was also probably the best thing for you not playing it because it was just probably the worst game that they've made in years. And so they changed companies and or developers. They changed developers and then they took a year off.
Hmm.
Technically 2 years off because they didn't make one in 2020 because of the pandemic. And then instead of rushing one together last year, they're putting one out that's coming out in March 11th, I believe. And so after over 2 years, we're finally seeing product come out for this game. And hopefully, and I'm praying this, that they have the controllers in your control settings that best fit for you.
So yes, they've actually put out the controls.
Okay.
So 19, I play 19, and let's just say the finisher, the signature is Y. It's one button.
Right.
When you went to 2K2020, the last game,
Yeah.
it was I think it was X and Y at the same time,
Yeah.
and my hands just can't do that.
Right.
So, and as soon as I found that out, the day later, I took that game back. I was like, I ain't dealing with this. Didn't pay $63 for me not to be able to play this game.
Right. Right.
And then I found out that the newer game has two also, but
Hmm.
it's on the Xbox. It's the trigger and X.
Right.
and then so the signature is the trigger and Y, the finisher is the trigger and X.
Right.
So that's not going to be bad.
Which is good. So you should be able to play it. Now, there's already
Mhm.
concerns. Okay, what are they gonna do with the roster size because it was so large back then? They haven't
Mhm.
really. They actually have not really revealed actual roster categories yet, which is a little. I mean, I want to say concerning, but I remember in the previous lead ups to other WWE 2K games, they would kind of give us the general roster like once a week. Like, okay, I'm going to name out 25, right? And so I'm wondering if they're going to do that this year. That they came out with other video, kind of like what they do have done with football and baseball, where a month prior they give you videos about what they've changed. And I don't know if have you seen any of those videos yet?
I have not. I've seen no made up ones, like custom
Okay.
ones that
Yeah.
people came up with. But I haven't seen an official one.
Okay. No, I haven't actually watched the official. Like they're more so they're broken down. I haven't watched them precisely, but I've seen them. Like I follow a guy named Dick Decops, Chris Danger, Chris Decker on YouTube, and
Mm-hmm.
he used to do all those YouTube video game. When 2K22 and do all that stuff. He's close with the up down down series and uh, with Xavier Woods, Austin Creed, and anyways, so he would take these videos and break it down and give you his thoughts on top of it. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you could already see like the hair movement, which is more realistic. They've tuned up the moves. You could do different moves. The power bar settings are different. So you don't just they got rid of the amount of reversals you have. You could
Yeah.
actually block a move instead of, and then, there's going to be certain times where you can't reverse, but you could block. And there's going to be times where you can't block, but you could reverse. So there's going to be a whole nother, and then there's like a stun meter on top of that
Yep.
player as well, which is going to be exciting. Um, so I like the change, and then they got the whole GM mode, and I think that's our biggest topic is the GM mode. I think a lot of people for years have been dying to see that GM mode come to life, and we get to see that, and I'm actually excited to see what the GM mode plays. Now, from my understanding, we can't play each other in GM mode, which sucks. But what we were talking about on TikTok last night was being able to um, go on and kind of imitate the GM mode, right? Take the roster for the game, have you, Jake, and I kind of sit down and do a little brand draft. You take, whoever takes Raw, whoever takes NXT, whoever takes, SmackDown, and kind of do a brand GM mode amongst us three, right? And I think that would be cool. I don't know how. I mean, you're gonna play yours on Xbox. I don't know which console settings Jake is planning to get his game on. I'll get mine probably, obviously, on PS4. But I'm excited to try to work out the kinks and see if that's something that we could do. And I talked about this at the beginning of the show. It's going to take us a while to kind of get into a dynamic of how to operate TikTok, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. Maybe this is what we do on TikTok, or you even created Twitch. So maybe I could figure out a way of how to put. We could figure out how to put our stuff up on Twitch, so that people could follow us then.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool for the three of us to do that. Now, obviously, I think the 3 hour show is going to be difficult to
Well,
book,
and
but
I don't know
I'm
if
up
you're
for it.
actually given. I don't know if you actually are given that 3 hour show platform, or if you're
Right.
just giving a number of matches. And like I went through the universe mode in this past game, but it's like where my struggles are was like okay, you had 9 matches to book, and you didn't really have any control of how you wanted it to happen. You know what I'm saying? So if you wanted something to go down a certain way, it was very difficult to happen that way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see that happen. I'm excited to see what we can bring to the table when it comes down to that. Now, I've taken a backseat to video games for a while. Trey, you're trying to get a little bit back into it again. I think you took a break for a while as well, or you at least you'd laid off on it a lot
Yeah.
more for a while. Jake, I don't know how much he probably still plays a tremendous amount. And so I'm excited to see try to put something like this together. Like I said, content for you guys in a different platform, like a TikTok or like a Twitch.
No, I love it because I started playing. I went out of my comfort zone and started playing on a higher difficulty on Madden.
Yeah.
Trying to learn a lot more so I can eventually keep up with Jake. No, cause he absolutely destroys me on defense because I don't know much about it.
Right.
So I'm better at offense. But yeah, I've beaten some top teams. I'm really enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, and sometimes you're so used to playing with what you're comfortable with, and sometimes as players you want to be comfortable with winning. You want to be in control, and hey, you're taking that next step, which is exciting, and I'm excited for when you and Jake get to play again and see what you have to bring to the table.
Yes, I'm ready.
So, all right, I apologize to everyone about our guest, David Folcher. Something comes up, maybe not. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, we're going to step away. When we come back, we want to talk a little bit about SmackDown last night. Who returned?
Yes.
Who did Ronda Rousey officially choose to face at the Rumble? And also I want to talk about some Hall of Fame. But coming up next, we have a special announcement to give another giveaway. We will be announcing that here on our show next on the Jay and Trey podcast.
I want to be there and baby dance the night away. I let my head down if I want. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time? Doesn't sound like fun. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better. You can do better. Let me show you what a good time looks like. You can do better. I dare you to be wilder. Let me show you what a good time looks like. To be silly, baby, dance the night away. I'll kick my shoes off if I want. Let yourself be free and maybe you will find that there is more to life than being pretty. Honey, let's just face it. Baby, let your head down, be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off, you don't have to hide it. Baby, let your head down, be a little wilder. Baby, kick your shoes off, don't hide it. I don't fit into your bars, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your bars, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your bars, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder. I don't fit into your bars, beauty queens without no flaws. You can do better, I dare you to be wilder.
Wait, can you get the giveaway?
I got it right here.
Okay. I thought I had we had it.
No, I got it over here. All right. So, how did the turnout go? By the way, for you had Tow Trucker actually reached out last night.
Yeah.
Are we squared with them here?
Yes, but it's kind of a weird address.
Hmm.
Um, it's awfully weird. So
We'll talk after the show.
yeah.
Um. All right. So we talked about how did you feel about the Brian Danielson giveaway? How did you feel that went?
Uh, I'm not gonna say it was excellent, but it was okay. Me, Courtney, and Jake came up with that idea. You know, our friend Kaylee was a little bit involved because she's big on TikTok. So we had kind of talked to her to see what was the best way to do a giveaway on TikTok, and the results were okay, and I'm excited to see how this one turns out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little nervous on how this one is going to turn out, but we talked about this for the last week or so, and it was the idea of okay, listen, let's try something new. We finally got 1,000 followers, and the whole dynamic of the first one was to get us followers, right?
Hmm.
So now, since we moved on from the TikTok, we got 1,000 followers, and want to thank everyone who's followed us on TikTok so that we could go live. And now we want to work on giving away another giveaway to expand for our Twitter account. So a couple weeks ago, we had a phenomenal interview with the one and only Chris Harris. Try to pop that up on the screen here. So we have this autograph from Chris Harris that Trey actually got about almost a month ago, right?
Yep.
In Covington when Chris Harris was actually there, and so we have an additional one, and we're going to be giving that away. And how you can win is that right after this show, okay, right after this show, I will be posting up a question on Twitter, and the question is simple, very easy. You got to head on over to our Twitter page and follow us. You got to follow Twitter, but then retweet or comment right in a retweet of the answer to it. So the question is, for what year was Chris Harris in the WWE? Chris Harris was in WWE, Impact, NWF, so many other promotions. But what year was Chris Harris in WWE? Very easy, simple question for everyone to answer. So I'm going to be posting that up as soon as the show ends. Okay, in an hour. Head on over to Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. Find the question where I post, TNC Sports Talk post, what year was Chris Harris in the WWE? And comment it in a retweet. Right? Am I saying that right?
Yep. We tweeted with the answer.
And you will be qualified for this giveaway. That's all you got to do. And the winner will be announced February 26th. It'll be a Saturday. That will be the night that NWF is hosting their Rumble. So I think it's only fair enough to give it away that day. So if you guys want to qualify, do those simple instructions, and you guys will win yourself this Chris Harris autograph. Free. I'll send it to you. I'll pay for shipping and handling. I don't have a problem with that. Fair enough. We're going to try to get Twitter going a little bit.
So yeah, go down and follow us on Twitter. Get you guys a Chris Harris autograph.
I'm excited. I'm hoping. I'm just crossing fingers. I mean, it seems like one week we will, we're do good in the ratings, and the next week we're down. Next week, one week we're up. Next week we're down. It's a hit or miss,
Yep, it is.
but it's the working battle that we do that you have to do with the show. Well, okay, so that's the thing. If you already follow us, thank you for following us on Twitter. Just you'll find the tweet after the show. Find the tweet, go to Twitter, find the tweet, and then comment the tweet. I mean, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find out who's retweeted it with the correct answer, and then
Yep.
compare to who's followed us on Twitter. So if you guys, you can't do one or the other. You gotta have both of them. So if you already followed us, thank you. Find it, retweet it. But for the new people who hasn't followed us yet, because we only got like I don't know 11 followers. Let's get some more.
I will.
And we'll work on making a TikTok video for that to promote that way. You all right?
I'm gonna reschedule him because by the time he's on, there'll only be about 15 minutes left of the show.
What time he wants to be on?
It's 2:08. He said give me 30 minutes.
Okay.
He said he's during the process of moving, and he's moving boxes and stuff.
Okay. I mean, I don't want to rush him. He can reschedule. I mean, we could possibly do another 1 to 3 tomorrow and just get that out of the way with. Would it be better for him to come on tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
And that way he doesn't have to stress or anything like that?
Don't.
As we wait for some update information, that's your call. If you want to try to reschedule tomorrow, maybe we could come on earlier in the day tomorrow. That would be great. If you want to stick around for him to come on later on today, we'll make adjustments. Or it's up to you.
I'm gonna see if he can reschedule because I can't be on here longer than 3 because I gotta get my medicine down.
Exactly. Yeah,
So.
I understand. Like I said, I don't know what your plans are for tomorrow.
I got no plans.
If he wants to do tomorrow, like another 1 to 3. The only reason I'm saying that is because the only other day I think is open is next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
This Thursday. I would have to send you my actual list of scheduling and the time slots because we're booked out. We are officially booked. I mean, I guess the only other thing, unless he could get on here at 2:30, but if he's moving, I don't want to let him move. I don't want him to go out of his way to stop what he's doing just to finish, just to come talk to some Joes over here.
I know, right?
All right. Where do we go down? All right, let's do this. What was your initial thoughts on SmackDown yesterday?
My initial thoughts. So I watched. We were at Raw, right?
Yep.
Um, I thought SmackDown was much better than um Raw. I think it's because they're sitting there for 3.5 hours, 4 hours. It's draining, and then they put on the same matches over and over again, and then you watch SmackDown, and they have the New Day. That New Day match was I really enjoyed that match. Um, uh, I I enjoyed I'm gonna call him my man coming back. Um, no, I know he's older. I know his performance is not well. Um, but I'm enjoying it while he's here. Um, I've always wanted to see the spear versus the spear. I've seen that. We got to see that with Bobby Lashley and Goldberg. But the head of the table versus Goldberg, that's gonna be big. Um, then I think my favorite part of the night was Ronda Rousey coming out and shutting down Charlotte real quick and then beating up Sonya Deville. So other than that, I really um thought SmackDown was the better show of the week, to be honest.
So would have Raw been the exact same way that you saw it live? Would it had it been the same way if you watched it on TV? Because you got to remember, watching it live, you're already sitting there. You don't. I don't know. Raw, you didn't listen. You couldn't really quite hear the audio as well. The package video. You don't know when it's going cutting to commercial break to when it's not going to break and stuff like that. So, would it be better? Would have Raw been better if you watched it on TV?
Um, More than likely, I probably would have been on my phone. Um, when the show is unbearable to watch, I get bored. Um, no, let's
I
just
was.
say
It was sad because I was on. I was buying Disney on Ice tickets during the show.
yes.
That's how bad it was.
So I'm gonna take you back. So I've been to I'm probably gonna say at least 10, 12 events in my life. And every single show, every event I've gone to, I was so excited. I was excited going to Raw, but once the show started, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is not worth $50 to be here." Um, but every show I've been to, my adrenaline is pumping. I absolutely love being here. But then I went to this Raw and I didn't have that feeling for the first time ever. Even at house shows, I've been to Starcade when they were in Cincinnati. Rick Blair was there. Um, I went to Louisville last year and seen John Cena. I'm just saying though, every event I have this adrenaline pumping, but this Raw was different. I didn't have it for the first time. Um,
I mean, so yeah, and I'm just asking that question because, like I said, when you go there and you actually watch a show, like you know,
mhm.
like Raw, and like you said, you don't have the commentary talking to you.
Yeah,
You have these unnecessary. You don't know when they're taking breaks, so it's not consistent action. So that's why I'm asking you because you know, and I don't know, maybe this is why I like talking to you. You have a way to talk to give me your share through a fan experience, right?
yeah,
And I sat down and I watched SmackDown. I was actually pretty excited about SmackDown.
Yeah.
I watched the first match of SmackDown, and maybe because other talk shows are getting to my head. I listen to them prior to watching, right? Um, maybe because Shane McMahon got fired, and I heard Busted Open talk about the whole incident with Shane McMahon, and being the fact that now they're even willing to fire a McMahon. What does this lead for WWE? Maybe it's because I heard Dwayne and Steve on Armchair Booking talk about Brock Lesnar and Shane McMahon. And I am now watching wrestling in a different point of view, a little bit less of a fan base. And you give me your fan experience, and I give you reality. I know for you it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but there's a big sign for me when I see even when as simple as a production crew can't get the job done right. When you watch NWF tonight, we know, you and I, as a fan, the little ins and outs of what puts a match together.
Mm-hmm.
The communication that they have, the placement in the ring, the importance of it, the awareness of the wrestlers. The camera crew, when you watch a production on TV, and especially for as a professional company like WWE is, again, and let's give audio listeners a context. I'm putting that in quotation marks because you're not supposed to hear them talking during the match. You're not supposed to see, these guys are supposed to get the right camera angle at the right time to highlight the importance of what's going on in the ring. Right? That's why they control the fans to sit down during the show. That's why they're basically telling them when to stand up, when to applaud, when to boo, all that stuff. But as simple as getting it right on TV is such a big step. It goes a long way. If you're sitting in that front row, if you're sitting at an NWF, you expect, and I'm sorry, no disrespect to NWF, amateurs to make those mistakes and to say, "Oh, point that out," right? One, you're up close to the action. Two, they're still in the progression of learning. A lot of these guys are,
Yeah.
right? But when you watch a Raw or a SmackDown in this case, you really expect at least a clean show. And during that first match, the camera crew didn't know where to put the camera on. You had Cesaro and Sheamus outside the ring, kind of getting heated up, and then you had Ridge Holland and Ricochet inside the ring trying to have a match, and they just couldn't coordinate each other on where to put the cameras on. And for me, that really hurt the show in my eyes. As a fan of wrestling, no, yeah, you're worried about the matches in the ring. I get that. I'm worried about the matches in the ring too. But for me, the simple, like, understanding where the business is at right now, understanding what we have seen as a fan over the last year, all the releases that we've seen, the fact that Shane McMahon got fired earlier this week because his ego stood in the way of the Royal Rumble. I'm like, I don't know, I mean, is there a sign that, okay, maybe it's just a bad production crew? I mean, AEW wasn't the greatest either, but is there something to be worried about in WWE and their future? And I know you sit there and say, what did you say? You sit there and told me last night, it's nobody but Vince McMahon's fault.
It's Vince McMahon's fault.
But as a fan, you could say that. But as a person who loves wrestling, as a person who armchair booking, maybe their experienced camera crew were also part of the releases last year. I mean, maybe that's the case, but honestly, I'm sitting here and I try to give them the benefit of the doubt. There is a dynamic to the camera angles you take to help put on that show. It's how like not only it's about the match inside the ring, it's about the cameras that surround the ring and what they do and what they put their cameras on that can help make or break a show. And for me, I think they failed miserably, and it showed in that first match. And there was that question that popped up. Okay, well, how you start losing when you start taking the actual wrestlers or pro athletes outside the production crew, right? Because
Mhm.
those pro wrestlers, they know what works and what doesn't work. Hey, put this at this angle so you don't see them talking, right? Put them
Yeah.
at this angle so you don't see them helping each other out. But when you get that, and that's part of the production crew, when you get away and when you take pro athletes away from that, you just got a bunch of film majors that think that they know what they're doing. In reality, they don't.
Yeah.
I'm throwing that
So
up.
I was down in Louisville last July, right?
Okay.
When it was the summer Cena, and where my seats was really right next to the one of the people with the cameras.
Okay.
So I got to talk to him. I was like, who controls all this? Like, do you work for WWE? Are you their camera crew? And they're like, no. What happens is basically when they come to venues, they go out and they look up. They find camera crews that come in and so they can film. So, um, no, so Vince McMahon does not. Um, they don't work for Vince.
So I will
So
tell you this: if it's a
if
live
Vince,
show, if it's a regular live show, they may do that. You go ask Raw and SmackDown for the past 20 years. They have their individual crew. And I'm not saying it's the entire crew, okay? But I'm talking about it is a set of 5 to maybe 10 guys who do nothing but travel with every episode and are the forefront of that camera. So maybe you got 5 for Raw, 5 for SmackDown. They're in the trucks outside the arena. There's like one of them at the table, up there trying to call in the shots. They're in the microphone. Maybe there's 1 or 2 actually down there. But then you're right. They will go out with the company that they'll go out and they'll find a couple extra guys to come help out and participate. But there is a main WWE has an official crew of camera and production people that are majored in film and what right that goes with them everywhere they go. Now
so,
it may be a smaller team when they go out to like a local live event, but when it comes down to actually Raw, SmackDown, Premium Lives, NXT, they got their own crew.
then I'm gonna say it's Vince's fault. It
I
is.
just but every production team though they look at it as a film. That's when you throw in other guys like Fit Finley, you throw in like a William Regal, you throw in like a Jamie Noble who knows okay, get this type of angle in the ring so that you could hide certain things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You get the wrestler who's actually been there, done that in the ring to kind of help the production team out. And I feel that WWE is straying away for that. I guess my concern is that this for me is the beginning. I see these small signs that kind of concerns me for what the WWE is going to behold in the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 years. I mean, will Vince McMahon pass down the company and keep it in the McMahon family? Will the Vince McMahon family sell it to another wrestling family? And we talked about this last night, and I think it made sense. Or I know I talked to Steve about this last night or yesterday, and it kind of made sense. I just don't know if the person I'm thinking of would honestly, I think, I don't know if he would actually be that much interested in wanting to clean up a mess like this with everything else he has, or but I know that for a fact that if this person is a guy that could be considered as buying the next person owning the company, I know he will lead the company in the right direction. He will hire the right people to get the company on the right direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to say any names. It's
Is
the
it
family.
the
It's a
wing?
family that is a family that's very close to the McMahon's family. And this guy, he's currently not wrestling, but his family is very connected at the top of the roster right now. If you know what I mean.
Yep.
Okay. Or he
Uh,
sells it to a company to someone who knows nothing about wrestling, who will turn it into a film project and have cutscenes. And I don't want to see that. I mean, I mean, even as much as I could probably brag and say, "Oh, Disney's perfect for WWE," and they'll get the right people. No, I don't want to see that. Come on. If so, it's also hurts to see because we talked about this last night. You know, when you have when you build your own, you build something yourself, and you have to see it go, right? Because
yeah.
every great thing comes to all great things come to an end. You're kind of stale, and you kind of feel sorrow. You kind of feel like you want to hold on, and I feel sometimes Vince McMahon's that guy. Like, yeah, he created a he expanded. He is the forefront of what wrestling is today. Okay, if it wasn't for Vince McMahon taking those extreme measures, and I'm not saying he's the only one, but he is one of the very few who took those steps to make WWE and to make the wrestling and to make wrestling, pro wrestling, what it is today, to what made the sports entertainment what it is today. I will always consider WWE, AEW, NWF a sport
No.
before a entertainment. Okay? There is a physicality that you cannot, that not everyone can be taught how to do. It's like football, it's like wrestling, it's like baseball, it's like hockey. You have, there is that same implication into it. And Vince McMahon, he builds WWE how he wants to be built, and now you see him come to the point where he probably knows it's time to start thinking about options how to get himself out, but he doesn't want to lose what he's created, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where he's probably at right now in his life. He's what, 78 years old?
He's pretty old. It's kind of sad. This company's been around for what 30 plus years.
What, longer than that?
You know, he he's made this company huge. Now you have guys such as Undertaker,
Hulk Hogan, The Rock,
Hulk Hogan, Andre the
Steve
Giant.
Austin, Andre the Giant, yeah.
Now, you have all these characters, and they're not. Now, today's you're not really building any characters. You
Right.
know, the last one to me that they built and they ruined was the Fiend.
The Fiend built his own character. I don't know if necessary. I really feel the Fiend did his own character. I feel like the last authentic person that was brought in that WWE built, probably around the time Sheamus came in.
I'm talking like a character.
Oh,
You see the Phenom, the
well,
Undertaker.
yeah, but you saw the Celtic Warrior in Sheamus, right? That was built.
Mhm.
Um, that I mean, I mean,
I mean, they
that's
had
a
they had the Monster Among Men. and they just Eater of the World, Bray Wyatt. No, there's just, to me, there's not. They're moving away with characters, and they're
Right.
just having, I don't even know how to say it. I mean, of course, today you have the tribal chief. I don't know if that's considered a
I don't
character.
consider that a character besides a title. I know what you're talking about, but I think that's another question for another day.
Yeah.
Is the storyline or no storyline? Because even back in, like, let's say, '06, even the bottom guy at the bottom total of your roster, like a guy like Funaki, had a
Hmm.
storyline. Everyone had a storyline. There's guys on the roster today that are not given storylines, and they just been thrown into matches. What is Ricochet doing? That's a prime example. What storyline is he involved? Because yeah, you could say he's with Cesaro, but they're not doing anything with them. He never. What was Ricochet in the Rumble?
Yes.
He was okay, but but Cesaro wasn't.
No.
Sheamus and Ridge wasn't going after him. So where is everyone should have a storyline? And then you're right, characters. I feel like there's so many so many athletes are doing the same thing, just in a different style.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just coming up with nicknames, not creating. Or okay, let me, instead of characters, gimmicks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
we have officially ended the era off of gimmicks. The last great gimmick I saw was the Fiend, like you mentioned. Even Finn Balor's alter ego
Yeah.
gimmick was awesome. But you can't, WWE can't take credit for that because they didn't create that.
Yeah. It's just sad to me.
It is. It's sad as a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
Let us know
And
down in the comments what you guys think as well. I want to bring up one other story I want to talk about when we come back, because we're taking you up till noon or 3 o'clock here on the Jay and Trey podcast. So stay tuned. We'll take another break. We'll come back and we'll wrap everything up here.
I can't let him take my soul. Nah, 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 no. I can't let him take my soul. Nah, 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 no. Oh, I can't let him take my soul. Nah, 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 no. See, we was cool right before he hit the fence, but he hit the fan when I got him down at the bench. When I took a break, I had to leave and go get
All
cleansed.
right. I went ahead and posted that question up there now. So if you guys want to qualify to win a autograph from Chris Harris, all right, all you guys got to do is head on over to our Twitter page. Follow us on. Make sure you guys are following us on Twitter. Find the post where I made about the question: what year was Chris Harris in the WWE? And retweet it with the correct answer, and you will qualify for the Chris Harris giveaway, autograph giveaway, that will be given out on February 26, 2022. It will be a Saturday edition episode of the Jane Trey podcast, and we will be on from 1 to 3 because it will be NWF Rumble night. Excited to get on. I want to tell you this. It is frustrating to have a guest scheduled and then that guest does not come on. It's definitely frustrating, to say the least.
Definitely.
But it happens, and I feel a personal way when you see hey, that person can't come through for us. But I mean, David, is apparently he's moving, and hopefully we could get him on at a later date. It's just, I was getting excited. We're gonna get talking up to the Super Bowl. Great guest to come on. Hey, who knows? Maybe he'll come on tomorrow.
Maybe
We'll see. All right. So I want to give everyone an update real quick. I want us to get ready for NWF because the reason why we did our show earlier today than nighttime is because we're going to be down at Ludlow, Kentucky later on tonight for NWF's matches. I want to kind of go over those matches really fast. So but before we get there, WWE earlier this week posted out some articles about what's going to happen at the Hall of Fame ceremony. When, what time, what location, how can you watch it, and much more here. And before I give any information away, what do you think about this year's Hall of Fame? You told me
people on it.
You told me earlier this week that you were a little disappointed because you felt like this week was a perfect week to start announcing Hall of Fame inductees.
Yeah. No. Normally they have a bunch of people in the Hall of Fame. Now, if you do one every other week, are you going to have enough time to announce all of them? Now, especially with the rumor of a certain someone being inducted this year, maybe there should be a lot less, and give that certain someone his spotlight that he deserves. And as far as what's happening, the update, I don't agree with it. It's kind of ridiculous to me.
Okay, so the WWE Hall of Fame, to me, the one problem I have with the WWE Hall of Fame is that I personally feel they attempt to put in too many people each and every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that prolongs. Like, let me ask you: does everybody deserve to be in the WWE Hall of Fame?
Not everybody. I mean, at some point, yes, I'm gonna say that. As of right now, there's not a lot of people. So like a few months ago, Alberto Del Rio said he feels like he qualifies to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I beg to differ. You know, he's done some stuff, but I don't think he's qualified right now.
Well, let's open this up to everybody. If you guys are in the comments, let me know down below. What do you guys think? Does the WWE tend to overbook their Hall of Famers? For example, football. Football, I think they have a minimum of 5 people. So they keep a standard, at least 5 people each and every year will be inducted. But sometimes there's more, but not every year. Most years is only around 5, 6, maybe 7 at most. And baseball, they have the ballots. I mean, and I mean, I know this is probably a conversation that we're not going to make any progress with because WWE is going to be WWE. But you see things like Impact, TNA or Impact Wrestling, right? You see things like, NWF. They usually have 1, 2 people in at a time. You think about all the guys that came out of TNA when they started opening up the Hall of Fame, they don't have 5, 6, 7 guys inducted. And I get it. They got a late start with the Hall of Fame. They have a lot of athletes, but it keeps it going each and every year, the longer. So I guess, I don't know. I feel that for me, either you need to lessen it because then this is what we start running into. We start running into the amount of time that they have to speak because now WWE wants to keep everything short, right? When they used to be able just to go on the WWE network, give them the entire floor for, 45 minutes. But now you got to keep it down to a 10 to 15-minute speech. Well, I say, hey, it's their day. They should say what they want to say. You also got people that probably just should not be in there. For example, I think I got an utterly feeling that Betty White's going to be in there. Does she really deserve to be in there? I don't know. I don't. I digress. What has she done to impact wrestling, the WWE? Besides making an appearance on the show once, what has she done to really deserve to be in there? Bad Bunny deserves to. I mean, I would want to go as far as to say Bad Bunny deserves to be in there, but Bad Bunny is making impact in wrestling.
Yeah.
Right. Snoop Dogg made an impact in wrestling. So unless you're making a change or an impact in wrestling in the WWE to be put in, then why are you in? What did Pete Rose do to be put in? Is Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame? Think so.
I think so too.
Why is he in the Hall of Fame? What did he do? So he dressed up. He got chokeslammed by Kane. That's all he did.
He got chokeslammed and tombstone by Kane multiple times. Like, what else?
So because you could take a tombstone, you could be inducted to the Hall of Fame?
I mean, if that's the case, I mean, come tombstone me.
Hey, I'll take that.
I mean,
but I mean, realistically, though, what are the qualifications as an athlete to qualify for the Hall of Fame here? I know Armchair Booking here. It's the celebrity wings. He posted this one. The celebrity wing has been watered down. I do believe in that. Listen, you don't need a celebrity each and every year. No, I don't see it. Let's see what else he says. Yes and no. It seems like they have a minimum threshold, but some of the inductees have been head scratchers, especially when some who definitely deserve that aren't in. Yeah, I
Cough,
mean,
cough, good colleague. Sorry,
God, oh,
I had a cough.
Armchair also says some of the celebrities absolutely contributed to wrestling in a positive way. Listen, I'm not saying that these celebrities haven't, but I'm saying there are certain celebrities that are probably getting a consideration that have not done a single thing. Yes, Pete Rose is in the Hall of Fame. Pete Rose is debatable. He was in 3 straight manias, so he did contribute. Okay, so when I say contribute, what did he do to put a landmark in WWE? Showing up is one thing. I don't consider showing up to a venue. I don't consider getting a move done on you to be considered Hall of Fame worthy. You have to do something just because they invited you out to 3 WrestleManias. Did he sell seats? I mean, how much of those seats at Manias did people come to see Pete Rose? That's my question, right? What did he do to change the face of wrestling? See, but here's the thing. I mean, yeah, Mr. T made a positive impact.
Yeah,
Donald Trump, yes. Drew Carey did not. Exactly. So why is Drew Carey? I mean, he's not in the Hall of Fame, is he? I don't. I lost track. I don't.
Drew
If he
Carey.
is,
Yes, he
he
was.
should not be in the Hall of Fame, though. What has he done to contribute? Donald Trump, Mr. T, per prime examples of guys who should be in the Hall of Fame. And yes, yes, Cyndi Lauper. Oh my goodness, I love her to death. Cyndi Lauper, the woman who realized. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so what are you gonna do one of these days that if WWE inducts Pee Wee Harmon into the Hall of Fame?
I don't. I'm gonna like roll over in my grave. I'm gonna die
I
and then
mean,
roll over.
this
I'm
is
gonna
a
die
person.
and roll over in my grave.
I mean, this is a person who showed up on Raw for a
Like a
when
guest
they were
host,
doing
right?
the celebrity GMs or whatever for a night.
Right.
I mean,
I
Ben Roethlisberger was part of it. What if he gets inducted?
he doesn't need it. I just that's my point. They're
Yeah,
making a mediocrity out of the celebrities, and they haven't impacted. Motorhead, or put in what
yeah,
is it, Lipskit, what Biscuit, whatever that
yeah,
rock and roll band is. I mean, uh, put in put in Toby Keith, because Toby Keith worked alongside JBL all those years, getting WWE out to those tribute to the troop shows. So put him in there. Um, I just oh no, please no, I don't want to hear
but
this one. Gronk has the longest reigning 24/7 champion. Doesn't he deserve to be in the Hall of Fame?
yeah, he does not deserve.
Oh no. You might as well induct the entire Buccaneers team then, if that's the case.
So I want to hear. I want to know what you guys' opinion is of the Award, and who
The
do you
war
think?
So the Warrior Award I'm okay with. I'm satisfied with naming somebody who has gone through something and naming them. I get with that. I don't disagree with naming a Hall of Fame, non-athlete as a Hall of Fame, as long as they contributed or impacted WWE at some point in their career, that help face the world of wrestling. But I feel like they also make an abundance to, you know, they make an abundance to have too many people, and there's a lot of people that deserve to be in there that's not
Mhm.
in there yet. Ivan Koloff, Koloff beat Bruno for the title at the Garden. He's not in the. Yeah, that is a crime. I mean, um, I can't begin to tell you where how come he's not qualified um to be in.
Why isn't Lex Luger in?
Why isn't Crispin Wallen? I mean, so where are those boundaries? What? But I guess I'm asking, what are the standards? I mean, who's deciding who's making it in each and every year? What are the standards that they are looking at? Is there a platform? Like, for example, baseball, right? You look at the careers. There's statistics. There's numbers. There's a case for everyone that makes it in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Um, and should the stuff outside the ring be part of the determination of whether or not what he did inside the ring is a Hall of Fame or not? Because I mean, but then you talk about this. Barry Bonds in baseball is not in the Hall of Fame, and he would have to take his case to the Veterans Committee for an opportunity, and he leads MLB with the most home runs. Now, there's claims that he did PEDs, that he did drugs, and but he was never found guilty of them. So but yet again, there's guys like Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire that will never get into the Hall of Fame because they were convicted of doing drugs. But those guys changed the face of the sport. So I mean, Crispin Wall is one of those guys who changed the game of the sport. He also did a lot of drugs at the time. You can't. There's a lot of cases for a lot of these people, and that's what I'm trying to argue about. I feel like you don't need to have 20 people a year. I feel like they have at least a dozen each and every year, and I feel like it takes away. And it's definitely going down to this year's Hall of Fame. WWE 2022 Hall of Fame ceremony is scheduled for Friday, March 31st from 10:30 to midnight Eastern Time at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, available on Peacock and the WWE Network. Yes, the WWE network is still around, but for the countries, not for the US, which sucks. Um,
So you're gonna sit there and tell me, you know, sitting at Raw is hard enough. Sitting there for 3.5 hours, you're gonna get people to sit there from 8 o'clock, or not even 8 o'clock, um, seven
7.
thirty to
Right.
midnight.
All right, so hear this out. Here's WrestleMania 38 weekend. It will feature a WWE Stand and Deliver event. This is what Raw, a Superstore access setup, and various WWE community events. So you have SmackDown, you have the Hall of Fame, and this is in order. Then you got NXT Stand and Deliver. NXT Stand and Deliver will take place the same day of WrestleMania Night 1. You hearing me on this? It's going to
Yeah.
be Night 1, which is Saturday, April 2nd, and it's going to be from 12 to 3 Eastern Time as a matinee show, I believe, at AT&T Stadium. The Hall of Fame itself, which is already probably bearing to watch, especially if you're on the East Coast. You will have SmackDown, a original episode of SmackDown from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Eastern Standard Time, Friday night. They will take 30 minutes for intermission. Then they will have the Hall of Fame ceremony from 10:30 to midnight at the same location of of uh
SmackDown.
SmackDown. So, thoughts? Trey.
It's um uh, um like I said, you're gonna tell me you're gonna sit there from 7:30 to midnight. And I heard the Hall of Fame is free. There is no extra cost to that.
Well, I saw on the same tickets.
Yeah, them tickets are gonna be skyrocketed though. Um, but it's gonna be, if I was there, it would be hard for me. I know. I mean, of course, I would love it. Um, I think they should do that before the Hall of Fame, before WrestleMania, like doing a different day, like they used to.
I definitely agree. Trey, check your phone.
What?
Check your phone. Bear with us a quick second.
No.
Alrighty. So let's stand and deliver. It's We have a very special person joining us today, and a former NFL player, three-time Pro Bowler. Please help welcome me, David. Is it Fulcher? Did I say that
It
correctly?
is Fulcher, Fulcher. How you guys doing, man?
I'm doing
We're
good, and
doing
you?
great.
Well, it's funny, man. My wife and I have been moving for the last couple of days, and when the wife says she want me to grab boxes and move them around, I'm supposed to do what I'm supposed to do. So I tried to get here as fast as I could, man. So I'm taking a little break just to come and talk to you guys, man. How's it going?
It's going great, and I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. I mean, gosh, we got a lot of great football coming up here. Pro Bowl tomorrow, and the Super Bowl coming up next Sunday. You got a chance to be a part of both of them in your career. Can you kind of walk us through both of the experience, being a three-time Pro Bowler and getting a chance to play in the Super Bowl?
Well, let's talk Super Bowl first, man.
Okay.
I will tell you that, my first 3 years in the league, having an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl, not too many people get a chance to do that. This team that they got now, guys are second and third years going to the Super Bowl. So that's pretty exciting. And when I played in the Super Bowl back in 1988, I'm not even sure you guys were born yet. But if you weren't, then, now you guys get a chance to see what Cincinnati football is really about.
Yeah.
But back in 1988, man, that was a phenomenal year for us. The year before, we went 4-12 due to the strike year. So we missed a lot of games that were pretty close, but we didn't finish. So then the following year, we played a pretty good year. We finished 14-5 and wind up losing to the 49ers in the Super Bowl, which was probably the ultimate game I've ever played in, due to the fact that we were playing against the San Francisco 49ers. I was hoping that a Bengals 49ers rematch would have been great, round 3, but the Rams said no, not this time. But just the opportunity to play in the Super Bowl, man, unbelievable. I mean, yes, it was a Super Bowl, but for me, it was just another game. Really? Just another game that I had to prepare for, and I had to keep my emotions down because it was played in front of the world, not just your local Cincinnati Bengal fans. It was everybody watching it.
Right.
So, yes, it was a tough game that we lost, but the opportunity to get there was exactly what this team is doing now. Take advantage of every opportunity that you get. And then, after that Super Bowl game was over with, I had to fly to Hawaii for my first Pro Bowl game. And that was special. The Pro Bowl, you're playing against peers. You're playing against other guys that play your position. And it was almost like a big party that we had uniforms on and was playing against each other. But those 3 Pro Bowls that I played in was pretty special. I actually thought I was going to make the Pro Bowl my rookie year. I had my statistics my rookie year were better than my third year. But I understand that rookies, unless you have a phenomenal year like Jamar Chase is having, you're not going to get in there because the veterans are the ones who do all the voting. So I had fun, man. I enjoyed football. I enjoyed the stuff that was going on. But yeah, my Pro Bowl and my Super Bowl was pretty spectacular.
And now, was it weird playing with other teammates, other people that in different teams, like such as Pittsburgh and stuff, playing in the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, it was, because here's the thing. So when I played, there were safeties, and I'm going to use safeties for an example. Ronnie Lott, Joey Brown, or Dennis Smith, those guys that I watched as a kid growing up at Arizona State playing football. I got a chance to be on the field with those guys and just kind of reminisce and hold conversation. So it was really, really nice to see that Pro Bowl. And then you get a chance to go to Hawaii, which, if I didn't go to the Pro Bowl, I'm not sure I would have taken a trip to Hawaii. It's just, just not in the cards. You don't think about it. But to go over there and bring my family over there and kind of just relax and play football and do what I love to do made it so simple. But yeah, playing against those guys that you see week in and week out on football, on TV, and then get a chance to stand there and talk to them and just talk about, the ins and outs and the love of the game and why you play. It was pretty spectacular.
I got to ask, as you played safety.
Yes.
So one of your primary jobs is standing in back there reading the quarterback, right?
Yes.
The famous, the Super Bowl with the Niners is pretty famous, especially that last drive with Joe Montana. You said you had to keep, you had to keep things calm and collective. Looked like Joe was calm and collective too, running, all the way down the field. How, not knowing what type of magic you guys put on, because even though, Cincinnati was on a losing, lost it was some sort of magic game. Looking back now, knowing what type of magical game, knowing that out of all the Super Bowls, that's one of the top games that people look back on. How do you feel about that overall?
Well, obviously I feel pretty bad because we didn't win the game.
Right.
But that last drive, so think about this. So in the entire game, we kind of had them under control.
Right.
We didn't have the offense that we were expecting. We're averaging 27 points a game. We don't score a touchdown at all on offense. We kicked 3 field goals. We got a kick return for a touchdown. When you look at that, you ask yourself, the Bengals should have won the game. Score 1 touchdown, you win the game.
Right.
To hold the 49ers to 13 points in almost 4 quarters of the game, and then they score a touchdown at the end there, was pretty spectacular. We were right in that game full force. And I will tell you something, man. I believe that was probably one of the best Super Bowls played.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't win the game. But to sit there and watch the 49ers do what they do on every weekend, I got to see it personally. And, yes, I did not like us losing the game, but, when the game was over with, I knew we gave our all. And we were in that game to the end, and we had a chance to win it. But what a spectacular game, a spectator's game.
Yes.
You were on your seat or on your feet throughout that whole game. And I wouldn't want it any better than that.
I've gone back and I watched that game hundreds of times. I wasn't born and raised, but I watched back, and every time I'm on the edge of my seat just because what you guys provided, both on the Cincinnati defensive side and, it looked at them for a moment. The Bengals should have looked like they had the game secure. They should have won the game. And I'm kind of disappointed they didn't win the game.
Well, when you look at both of our Super Bowls, we lost the first Super Bowl 20-16. No. 26-20. 26-20 in Pontiac, Michigan.
Right.
We're on the 1-yard line, 1st and goal, and we can't score a touchdown. We got Pete Johnson. We got Ken Anderson. We got Anthony Munoz. We got that great line, and we couldn't get 1 yard to win the game. And then we come back, years later, and we're winning the game, and we can't close the door on the 49ers. So, if the 49ers are the team of the 80s, if we'd have won them 2 Super Bowls, we'd have been the team of the 80s.
Absolutely.
But you know what? If I could have, would have, should have, that don't win football games. So we were happy to be there, and we wanted to win that game for the city of Cincinnati. But I think they got a good chance coming up in a couple of weeks, in a week from now.
How do you think the Bengals will fare against the Rams in a few weeks? What do they have to do to beat the Rams?
Well, one, we've always talked about protecting the quarterback.
Mhm.
Aaron Donald and that defense, it's going to take 3 guys to block Aaron Donald. and we don't have enough guys to block Aaron Donald. We don't. But I will tell you this: what I like about the Bengals and what they've been doing all year is, like I said, those guys they don't know enough. They don't know enough to understand. They're just out there having fun. And I think with Joe Burrow and Chase and Higgins and Boyd and Mixon, let me tell you something. That's a high-powered offense that could beat anybody, and they've been showing it all year. Those guys are so calm and cool. I understand it's a big game, and I'm telling you, I can't see a bunch of 23-year-olds, 22-year-olds playing in a big game under that magnificent with the stuff they've got. It's going to be tough. But if they just continue to do what they've been doing, and that's playing carefree football, just having fun, and if they keep communicating and doing what they're doing, I can't see them not winning the game. But you never know what happens on game day.
So we talk about the upcoming Super Bowl here. There's so many things going great for Cincinnati, but announced prior to the playoffs, Eric Weddle sits down for 2 years. He retires from the Rams back in 2019. He comes back out of nowhere and signs for the postseason. And he's one of those defensive backs, back there in the secondary. I mean, just imagine, let's say you took 2 years off coming back. What type of mental state you putting it in? Can you maybe speak on any physicality that, what type of work does it take just to get ready for not playing for 2 whole years to come back ready for a playoff atmosphere for a guy like Eric Weddle?
Well, just think about this. So he's been out 2 years. Now, how much work is Eric doing now that he is not playing? Is he still working out? Is he running? Is he doing those type of things? If he's staying in shape, then mentally he can come back and play. Okay. Because the mental part of it is pretty simple. I mean, it's a mental game. It's in a physical game. If you're physical enough to get yourself in shape to play, then I think you could do it. If you've zoned out mentally about not playing anymore because you've hung up your cleats and you're done, then you're going to have to get that part of your game back into tune and ready to play. I think this guy could play, and he showed he can come out back and play. And that was a smart move by the Rams. The Rams brought him in there. They lost a DB. They lost a couple of players that they thought they could bring in a leader, a physical leader with the mindset of taking care of business. And that's why they called on him. So can you do it? Yeah. It just depends on what you've done. Now, if it was me back in the day, after I hung up my cleats, I mean, I'm actually lighter than I was when I played today. Yeah. But could I have done it? Probably, because I think as an athlete, you continue to believe that you can go up and catch touchdowns and tackle people, because that's a mind thing. Your mind says you can, the body says you can't. But if the body says you can and the mind's already focused on getting it done, you can do it if you want to.
So can you tell us how today's football is different than back when you played?
Well, let me tell you, man, the difference between today and I'll go yesterday, my day, is the body structure of all these football players. You got 6'6", 300-pound guys running 4.4 40s, 4.5 40s. Right. Well, if you took David Folcher and let him play today, back in his day, I was running 4.57, 4.65 40s that I couldn't even play today. So the preparation and the body structure of the players today overwhelms many years ago, and that would be probably a mental lapse for me to see that a guy who's 300 pounds running faster than me, and I'm a safety and he's a defensive lineman. Well, you know what, David Fulcher, you might have to be a defensive lineman today because you can't run like these guys are running. So yeah, it would be tough. I think it's and not only that with the physical part of it, but salaries. What guys are making today. How many of these guys could be playing back when I was playing? Or how many guys that were playing back then can play today? Or you look at the salary that David Fulcher made back in 1987. Right. What would it be today if David Fulcher was playing? So there's a lot of differences that are going on with players today, but I think the difference between past players and today's players is that we're not playing from the pocketbook. We're playing from the heart. Not saying these guys aren't playing from the heart, but $45 million of hearts. It's a little bit different than 1 million in hearts or 100,000 in hearts. So,
yes.
But like I said, if it's available, you take it. If it's not available, you don't take it. But I just think that today's football players are just too strong and too powerful for what they were many, many years ago.
You get, you rattle off a whole bunch of Bengals names coming up to the Super Bowl. But is there any one particular young guy that's probably just got drafted or still yet to be drafted yet, right? That's probably in college that you're probably most pertinent to keep an eye out, like, hey, this guy may be the next big star, in the NFL.
It's kind of tough, man, because I don't really follow a particular player or watch a team. The only team I really kind of follow a whole lot is Arizona State because I went there.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just a fan, man. I'm just a fan of football. I don't play. I can't even pronounce it. The where you all can play the game or whatever that game called. I don't know what it's called.
Madden?
No, not the Madden. I'm talking about when people can draft a player and what is it called? When you draft a player and then you play.
It's
fantasy?
that fantasy.
Oh, fantasy.
Fantasy football. There we
Yeah.
go. Fantasy football. That just goes to show where my head is. I don't even do that stuff, man. So I just like watching the game.
Uh-huh.
I like watching basketball, baseball, football. I'm just a fan of sports, and it's nice to see the Cincinnati Bengals getting themselves back in a position where they're being talked about in reactions to maybe winning the Super Bowl. I'm just an old guy, man, that, I'm fortunate enough that I still have my brain here. I still have my body. I'm a little beat up because I'm getting old, not football. My daughter tells me, Dad, you're old from football. And I say I'm old from just getting old. But, like I said, I'm a fan of football, man. I don't have a particular player. I just like to watch the game. And, I watch the Bengals game every time.
Yeah.
I'm at the stadium because I work for the NFL. I'm a uniform compliance officer. So I'm at every home game watching that, making sure guys got on the proper uniforms. And every now and then I'll look at the field and I'll go, Jesse Bates, I can't believe you did that, because I could have did it back in the day, not today. So I kind of like critique. But then again, like I said, I'm just a fan, just like everybody else who loves the game of football and just watching it.
You got a chance to you're born and raised in LA. You got a chance to play for an LA team. How was that like, being able to go home and play for your hometown crowd?
It's funny that you say that, because on draft day in 1986, I had talked to the Raiders. I remember I came out as a junior, one of the first juniors ever to come out. They weren't accepting juniors back then. And I got petitioned to go to the NFL 2 days before the draft. So no combines, no workouts, nothing up until 2 days for the draft. Well, the Giants, the Bengals, and the Raiders came to Arizona State and worked me out. Now, that was in April. So we're talking January, my last college football game, Holiday Bowl against Arkansas. I didn't work out. I gained like 15 pounds. I was 2 steps slow, and all of a sudden, because I didn't think the NFL was going to accept me, all of a sudden I got to work out for these teams. So my bench press wasn't the best. My 40 time wasn't the best. My shuttle time wasn't the best. Catching the football, I could always catch. But, they kind of looked at me and said, well, man, you don't look like you used to 3 months ago. I said, well, of course, because I haven't done anything. And, well, how important is football to you when you're not working out? And said, well, it wasn't that. It was just that I got lazy and didn't do what I wanted to do or what I needed to do. And then draft day come around, and the Giants had 4 picks in the second round. And they told me that if you're still there, we pick you. Well, I was there. They didn't pick me. Then the Raiders said, hey, listen, we got the 24th pick in the 3rd round. If you're there, we're going to take you. We promise we're going to take you. I'm going back to LA. I'm going home.
Oh.
I'm going home to play. Well, I get a phone call from the Bengals, the 23rd pick. And next thing I know, I'm a Cincinnati Bengal. Now, was I excited about that? Probably not, because I wanted to go back home and play with the Raiders.
Yeah.
But I was happy to be in the NFL. And when the Bengals picked me, I said, you know what? I'm going to make this my home. I'm still here today. And I love Cincinnati, and I thankful for they gave me an opportunity. But the 1 year when I played with the Raiders, man, that was like going to Disney World. That was pretty cool, man. That 1 year, and I wish I would have played with them earlier, but I can't be mad playing for Cincinnati because I got a chance to go to the Super Bowl and 3 Pro Bowls.
It's a great franchise, great organization. I just recently moved out to this area, neck of the woods, right? A couple years ago. It's really grown on me. I was born and raised in San Diego, so kind of the mixture. I can't hate either team going into the Super Bowl this year. So it's kind of up in the air for me. Just real quick, I had a armchair booking here. It was in the chats here, and you coached some high school football a little bit. Are you still I mean, I know you're doing the stuff on the field for the NFL, but how active are you down with the younger kids, especially like in high school?
Well, I coached 4 years of high school, probably about 8 years ago. And then I started a football program at a university here, Cincinnati Christian University. I started football there, and that lasted 3 years until they lost their accreditation and shut the school down. But right now, I do a lot of work with a high school here, one of the biggest high schools in the state of Ohio, Mason High School, which my son and my daughter both went to school there. My son played football, David Jr. My daughter played softball. I'm a diversity coordinator at the school as well as a campus supervisor. And I'm just making an impact. I mean, I'm not coaching football. I'm just coaching the game of life.
Right.
And what I try to do, man, is just, have an impact on making sure that a young man or a young lady gets the right not knowledge or impact on making better choices. And that's what I've been doing. So no more coaching on the football field. I'm just coaching in the game of life.
A game of life and game of football are very similar. I learned that when I played in high school. You learned a lot about life for learning about football.
Well, football, let me tell you something, man. Football was a stepping stone for me. Growing up in South Central Los Angeles,
yes,
I lived around gangbangers, I drug dealers, and some of my friends were gangbangers and drug dealers, and that was something I didn't want to do. My dad was a police officer in Los Angeles for 25 years. When he said no, it meant no. My friend said, let's do this. I didn't do it. And so the game of life helped me get to where I am today. And based off of what my dad used to tell me and the stories that I saw in LA, I didn't want to go down that path. So I made something out of myself, and I just did the right thing.
Oh, back in when you played for Arizona, was it Arizona? You got the nickname Rock. How do you feel about your nickname?
Well, let me tell you, man, that nickname, I got that nickname in a game against Colorado State. Wide receiver came across the middle, and I was going for the interception. And we wind up hitting each other right at the impact where the ball got to us, and he flat got knocked out. And I was just sitting there going, I was trying to get an interception. I wasn't trying to hurt him. I was just trying to make a play, and he was out on the ground for a while. And the paramedics and the trainers came out, and they tried to stabilize him and what was going on. And then he kind of came up and woke up and said, man, I felt like I ran into a rock. And then when I heard the word rock, and then one of my teammates said, hey, dude, that's going to be your new name, Rock. And that's how I got it. And it stayed with me for a very long time, and it's still here today. And it's all because of that one big hit. And then throughout my career, everybody would say, man, this guy hits like a rock, man. This guy he's a beast back there. So the Rock, the nickname just stuck with me. And tell Dwayne Rock Johnson that I was the first one who started that rock. So it's all good now. All good.
So people still call you that today?
Every day, man. I even have kids in my school. Hey, Rock. What's up, Rock? They have no idea. They just saw it somewhere. They're calling me Rock. So then I'll turn around and call one of them, how you doing, Pebble? So you got the Rock and you got the Pebble. So it's all good, man.
I love that. That's a great story. All right. Between, obviously NFL is a special moment. Between NFL though and college, which one did you have more? Which one you felt was more meant to you?
Well, I would tell you this, man. I in my closet, I have more Arizona State stuff than I do Cincinnati Bengal.
Mm.
I wear a lot of Arizona State stuff around here, not because, I don't like to wear the Bengals, but everybody knows that I play for the Bengals just because of the name, but they don't know I played at Arizona State as much as I play for the Bengals. So I'm just I love both of them. I love the Arizona State gave me a chance to come play for the Bengals. And if it wasn't for Arizona State, I probably wouldn't have played in the Bengals or never played anywhere. But it all goes to Arizona State giving me the opportunity for 4 years to play college football.
Do you think you would be able to survive with all the penalties that they start enforcing this year? Like, well, not just this year, the last couple years.
No doubt, man.
Little stuff, helmet to helmet, is ridiculous.
I think I would probably be giving my paycheck up every week. And the problem with that, if I was playing today, some of my paychecks my fines would probably be what the paycheck I played for back in the 80s. So I would have some money in my pocket. But if they had these rules that they have today back in the 80s and 90s, I'd be broke. I guess what I don't understand about football is it's a very impactful sport. It's a very physical sport. There's no way you could tackle a guy by moving your head to get out of the way. And I can't believe that the league is fining players for, unsportsmanlike conduct or targeting, because I don't think anybody goes out to target. I've seen some hits where the safety comes up to hit a guy who's in the air, and the guy's got to come down. When he comes down, they go helmet to helmet and they blame it on the safety.
Right.
And that's tough, man. When you're asking me to adjust the way I play that I've been playing all my life, you want me to adjust that so that we don't get hurt. Well, you're going to get hurt no matter what happens. If you go slow, you can get hurt. If you go fast, you can get hurt. But I will tell you that if I was playing today with the style that they're playing, it would be tough to change. I would lose a couple of paychecks week in and week out.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the whole protection and, the after effect, but that's what, yet again, pro athletes, they sign up for. Hey, we're going to get hit hard, but I've always been told, hey, if you go 50% because you're afraid to get hit, you're going to get hurt a lot worse than just going 100%. And that's what these guys do out there on the field each and every week. They have to go 100%. That's the only way to go in a game.
Well, that's the way we were taught. I mean, you guys are doing your podcast here or your streaming here. You're not going to give you 50%. Just like in a relationship. When I hear people say it's 50-50, no, it isn't, because where's the other 50? Right. It's either 100% in or 100% out. And that would be the way that I play the game. And if I was doing it today, if I was physical to play football today, it would be 100% all in, all out, or I wouldn't play at all.
So how would today's Bengals team go against the Bengals back in the day?
Oh wow,
your Bengals.
That would be tough, because I do think that the Bengals that are today probably are more skilled than we were back in my day. I will tell you this though, I believe that my Bengals offensive line back in the day wouldn't let Boomer get sacked like Joe Burrows is getting sacked today.
Yeah.
Anthony Munoz, Bruce Reimers, Bruce Kazerski, them guys, they protect Boomer Esiason. Boomer didn't get hit a lot, but these guys Joe's getting killed. He's getting hit. And once again, it's the physicality of those guys on the defensive side of the ball. Them guys are strong and fast, just like offensive linemen are big, strong, and fast. But the defensive linemen that play in NFL today could just, they can run with anybody on that football field. And when you got that, Aaron Donald, like I said, Aaron Donald is going to be he's going to raise havoc on Sunday in that Super Bowl. The guy's the best defensive lineman in football, and you got an offensive line that struggles to keep your quarterback off his back. Aaron Donald's licking his chops, man. Aaron Donald's getting steak, shrimp, all kind of food delivered to him, and he's going to eat up when it comes on Sunday. But I just hope that Joe Burrow gets an opportunity to get the ball out of his hand fast enough that Aaron Donald doesn't beat him up too much.
Yeah, I'm worried about him getting injured.
I mean, Bower has learned over the last year ball protection, so at least he's not giving it up. He's not giving interceptions like maybe he would, last year, being a rookie in the league. So he's learning a lot. He's learning to take it. And listen, if you a sack 9 times for a win, I could take any day, honestly.
Oh, I say the same thing, man. When they won that game against Tennessee and he got sacked 9 times, those 9 sacks don't even count.
Right.
They don't count no more. You don't worry about them. Now you got to worry about the next game. And what happened in Kansas City, I think he was sacked once.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at it, that's the reason why Kansas City lost is because he tried to pitch the ball and, it went into the, into Bengals' hands.
Yeah.
So, all right. So I'm taking it that you taking the Bengals over the Rams next Sunday.
Oh, that's a no-brainer, man. Bengals will beat the Rams.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you what the score is going to be, and I don't even care. As long as it's 1 point better than the Rams, we're good.
Okay. Pro Bowl, AFC, NFC tomorrow.
I definitely want the AFC to win. I mean, it's kind of tough, man, because the Pro Bowl is not like it used to be. I don't even know if players are trying to win the game or just happy to be there. When I was playing in the Pro Bowl, we were trying to beat the NFC.
Right.
We didn't just want to be there. And then I think now they've got, players, certain players that can play, and they got it before the Super Bowl. So guys who made the Pro Bowl that are playing in the Super Bowl can't even play in the Pro Bowl.
Nope.
Not fun anymore. They call it the no fun league, NFL. No fun.
Well, and
league.
then obviously, people can now sit out of the Pro Bowl too. You have the option if you got selected not to play, which isn't that like a bonus check on top of your end, for qualifying for the Pro Bowl?
I just think that look, you get a bonus check for playing. Okay, no problem. But you're an all-star. That's what the Pro Bowl is about. It's an all-star game. It's guys who have done their job throughout the season that the peers have picked them to be in the Pro Bowl. And then if you go to the Super Bowl, you definitely can't play in the Pro Bowl. So you might go to the Pro Bowl, sit there and watch guys play. And who wants to do that? I'm not going to go to Vegas because that's in the Pro Bowls in Vegas. I'm not going to go to Vegas for a couple of days when I'm supposed to be in the Super Bowl, getting ready for a Super Bowl game just to watch those guys play.
Right.
I think that whoever did that was they were a little backwards.
Right. They did that initially just to give an equal amount of time for players to get ready, to rest and get ready. But yeah, I don't get the concept.
And then I guess you can actually now you're looking at the backups, guys who were not picked for the Pro Bowl that will step in those places, which is okay. That's fine. But the guy who made the Pro Bowl wants to play in the Pro Bowl. That's why you call it an all-star game in the Pro Bowl.
Now, are you going to be at the Super Bowl?
No, unfortunately, I'm not, because it's funny how things work out and don't work out. I got invited to a big Super Bowl party here in Ohio, not knowing that the Bengals were going to be at the Super Bowl. And I'm the kind of guy, man, when I make a commitment to body or something, I hold it up, because I don't want to. There was like 5 former Bengals that were invited to go to a Super Bowl party that was raising money for a charitable organization. And I'm the only one that's going. Everybody else is going to the game in LA.
Oh.
And no, that's okay with me. But I committed to them not knowing that the Bengals would go to the Super Bowl. And I'm not just going to back out, man, because, I got my charitable organizations, and, when I ask somebody to do something, when they ask me to do something, I would expect them to be there. So I'm going to live my end up and make sure I take care of those people that ask me to come.
Talking about charitable organizations, is there anything that that the community, should know that we could help out, participate in, that you're currently working on to help out with the locals?
Well, I've got 2 foundations that I started, and one of them is my the David Folcher Foundation that benefits those that are affected by multiple sclerosis. My wife Judy was diagnosed with it over 25 years ago. And we raise monies to help those people that are affected by MS. And we've done some work with the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. And then we decided not to partner up with them, that we went on our own to have those monies dedicated directly to those families who are affected by it. So my wife and I, every year for the last 15 years, Christmas, we've actually did Christmas shopping and grocery shopping for those families that are affected, and we've been delivering it to their house on Christmas Eve. That's one of my foundations that we do that. And then the other one, I have a foundation that I work with incarcerated men and women that my wife and I started 20 years ago. It's called MANA, MANA, Mentoring Against Negative Actions, where we go into the local jails here and we just teach common sense to those incarcerated men and women on making better choices when they get out.
Okay. I'm definitely I want to check them out, here one of these days after the show. Definitely. I thank you for, being able to set these, simple things up, because it helps and it goes a long way.
Yes.
You know, go ahead, Trey.
Now I don't have one last question, but I wanna thank you for everything you are doing for the community. I got the privilege to meet Joe Walter. He actually came to one of my Special Olympic basketball games, and I appreciate everything that you athletes do for the communities.
I will tell you this here, man. A lot of people look at us as role models.
Hmm.
But I don't want anybody to look at me as a role model. What I want somebody to look at me is just the simple fact that I played the game that I love to play, made a lot of money playing the game, but that wasn't what it was about. But I try to give back as much as I can. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are. I try to give back as much as I can. I kind of wish that I was playing football today with the kind of money that they make, because you know what? Money doesn't make you. You make the money. And if you could take the money that you earn and give it back to the communities and the people that are out there, because there are so many people in the world that can use the money that these athletes are making, because you can't take it with you when you're gone. So why not, do something? I would love to, just kind of make, that's the 100 million, all these monies that these people are making, and get people off the street, man. Get the homeless off the street, put them inside, do something
Yes.
like that, and is it going to really hurt for me to give somebody $100,000 when I'm making 100 million? No.
Yeah.
And I just wish there were players that think the way I think with the time and the stuff that they got. So I'm just appreciative, man, that I could do the things that I do and come on this show and speak and have fun and enjoy life, man, because like I said, I'm just a guy born and raised in Los Angeles who was given the chance to play a sport that he loved. And when Paul Brown hired me and he told me if I keep hitting people, he would pay me, I said, okay, coach, I got you. I'm going to do what I need to do. And I did it.
And then, and like you said, the aftermath, being able to stay local, give back, help out wherever you could help out at.
Yes.
Tremendous. And we appreciate it. Thank you.
No
Thank you for
problem.
being a guest on our show, taking the time. I know you're very busy moving and everything, and hopefully that goes well.
You can see all them boxes behind me, man. We're still
I-
trying to move them around. So I'm kind of sitting on the couch in the bedroom, and I don't have my man cave up yet with all my sports memorabilia. So this is what you guys got. Maybe the next time, if you guys want to do it again,
Yes.
We'll do it, and I'll have it all ready to go, man. And you get to see all the Pro Bowl and the Super Bowl and all the necessary stuff on the wall.
Absolutely. We'll have to get you back on. One last question, just
Yes, sir.
coming up from the comments down below. You've been down in Cincinnati a long time. I guess this is the question that everyone asks: Skyline or Gold Star?
Oh
Or I
my
guess
gosh,
Dixie.
man. Let me tell you. If it ain't Skyline time, it ain't
Oh.
Skyline time. So I'm a Skyline guy. My family is Skyline. I think my family can eat Skyline every day. I can't do it every day.
Can you? Are you able to sing that Skyline song, the jingle?
Whenever you feel good and hungry, it's Skyline time. That's about as far as I can go, man.
Oh, that is just pure amazing. That made my day. I appreciate it. Thank you. Like I said, once again, thank you for taking the time for our show. Hopefully, we get you back on at some point. Don't be a stranger. We're not that far away from each other. If you still live in the Cincinnati area,
Let me know, man. Whatever you guys want to do, man. I'm 100% behind you, and just get in touch with me like we've been getting in touch with each other, man. And if I see it, I will answer. Thank you, guys,
and
man.
I got one last thing.
Yes, sir.
Who Day?
Who they, man? Who they think gonna beat them Bengals? Nobody.
Maybe
Nobody.
the Rams.
All
Maybe
right,
my
see
Rams.
y'all.
Take care.
See
Have a
ya.
good one. Oh, that was and I know we had to wait a few extra, an hour and a half for it. A stand up and deliver worth the extra 30 minutes of the show.
Such a great guy.
Great guy. I loved it. He's a fantastic. Hopefully he come on more often. Love the foundations you're gonna get into. So I'm checking those out also.
I don't know why I'm so nervous to talk to him.
It's kind of like starstruck, but I think, man, all right. I'm calling it now. Our best interview we did. Best interview we did.
Yeah.
I say. All right. NWF tonight. We're gonna head out there. We're gonna get ready to make our way. We got you got the NWF Women's Championship. Ella versus Selena Dean. You got NWF World Heavyweight Championship. Kimba taking on DC. Career versus career on the line. Hollywood taking on Rex. And then that 6-man tag match. So if you guys are headed out there tonight, we'll see you then. If not, hey, we'll see you guys tomorrow night, 10 to midnight, to finish off an incredible week. We got Justin. Hopefully Jake joins the show. And any last words?
Go Bengals. Who Day.
You guys. Until next time, you guys take care.